dark moments in your life. Right? Time to think, right? Yeah, sorry.
All the darkness over here.
Okay. So what does these songs mean to you guys? Because there's always, from my point of view, I've always sensed this certain vulnerability when I listen to the records. It feels somehow intimate. I hope I'm making myself clear with what I try to say. Like, even though you're making music for millions, you listen to these songs and you're thinking, these guys are making themselves vulnerable. What does these songs mean to you?
Well, Tim's always written incredibly honest songs, but I do think he's gone deeper with this record than anyone before. But they don't just relate solely to his life. I mean, I think a lot of it is about the grey areas that sort of make life interesting in real life, especially when you're getting a bit older than, just in your teens or your 20s, when things seem quite simple. So I think we all take something from that. I think there are philosophical songs, like there's a song called Phases that's really, I think everyone can relate to, the way that life isn't simple, it's not just on one path, and there will always be ups and downs. And I think we can all take something from that, and that's just one example.
Inicialmente nos dice, no es que se trate solo de la vida de Tim, sino que hay muchas áreas grises y muchas formas también de relacionarse con lo que pasa en la música. Obviamente de una perspectiva filosófica también, que uno pueda dar un sentido de la vida es totalmente diferente del que uno tiene cuando es un adolescente o cuando está en sus 20s, de cuando mira hacia adelante. Hay muchas áreas grises, entonces nos dice por ejemplo que una canción como Faces tiene precisamente ese acercamiento donde dice que pues la vida no es simple, las cosas realmente se vuelven mucho más complejas, y es algo de lo que yo les estaba preguntando respecto a algo que siento usualmente, que pena no les trajo la pregunta primero, y es que yo siento que cuando uno escucha música de Keane hay una sensación de vulnerabilidad de parte de las canciones. Tú te acercas a la canción y que está hecha para millones de personas, hay una vulnerabilidad en el tema. Entonces, ¿qué significan estas canciones para ellos? Y está precisamente ahí lo que nos estaban contando. How was it like, the atmosphere, getting back together in the studio after so long?
All of our terrible jokes started straight away from years ago. Do you know what? Tom has got funnier. Funnier looking. Yeah, we're all friends, but it's not like we fell out when we stopped playing together. We still spend time together, and making music is an extension of that rather than some completely different thing. So yeah, I think we fell back into it pretty easily.
Es necesario preguntarle la sensación de una vez más estar en el estudio y además enfrentar este tema después de tanto tiempo. Inicialmente dicen que Tom ahora es más gracioso, noté que eso lo entendieron, y además que principalmente pues está ese sentimiento de amistad también que prima en el momento en el que se unen. Entonces realmente todo fluye de una forma supremamente fácil para ellos, que es un poco lo que nos hacen entender. How long has the songs in Cause and Effect, sorry about my English, for how long has those, thank you, those songs been like written before you start, you guys share it and start to, making the music, the harmony and everything? For how long does these songs rest somewhere?
Which time did you write
I
those
think
songs?
some of them maybe like 18 months, something like that. I mean, it takes a long time,
A year and a half.
well for me anyway, it takes a long time to write that many songs that we all feel are really good, because we try to keep our standards very high. So probably for this album there were probably like 50 demos or something. So it's a long period of writing. So yeah, maybe some of them, I reckon about a year and a half. Some of them were very last minute. Like Love Too Much was very, like maybe have we already started recording, not quite, but it was very late, you know, so
But were the songs since the very beginning like considered to be, you know, like this is Keane music?
well, some of them.
Okay.
So before we started talking about doing a Keane album, I was still writing on my own, and I was thinking about doing a solo album or something. So I was writing a lot anyway, and I had some songs that I felt were good. But then, yeah, so those songs, then I played to Tom, the other guys, and they were really kind about them and very enthusiastic. So that kind of formed the basis of the Keane album. And then after that, I started writing much more and wrote a lot more songs like The Way I Feel and Phases. And, you know, so there were like two stages to the writing, if that makes any sense.
Okay. Le estaba preguntando por cuánto tiempo estuvieron estas canciones escritas antes de entrar al estudio y grabar, y después le pregunté si estas canciones desde un principio fueron consideradas como canciones para una reunión de Keane. Inicialmente estaban algunas de ellas listas desde hace unos 18 meses. En total llegaron a existir unos 50 demos de estas canciones. Sí, un poco esperando que se viera tal cosa como una reunión de la agrupación, pero nos dice que hubo dos etapas, porque hay algunas canciones como The Way I Feel, Faces, que aparecen ya después cuando empezaron a hablar de esta reunión, pero pues el proceso de escribir continuó también para ver eventualmente pues qué pasaba con estas canciones. Musically, how do you guys keep the identity of the band after not playing for so long? I wanted to ask this because even though from my point of view, every album is quite different. You have experience with different instruments and all that. Still, you listen to the album and you say, okay, this is a Keane record.
Well, I mean, the ingredients are the same, I suppose. It's Tim's songs and me singing, Richard's drumming, Jesse's bass playing. I mean, you know, they're all of those things are expressions of who we are as human beings, and probably the way in which we all express ourselves best. And so, yeah, I think you put all those factors together, and it's going to sound like a Keane record. You can't, especially if you try and be true to yourselves. So yeah, I mean, it's just who we are, and it always has been.
No, I think it's. I mean, I think it's great because sometimes you listen. There are some bands that they just don't like the way they sound, and they always look forward to try something different, and it's okay too. But sometimes you get a pleasant surprise. Sometimes you don't, and it happens. Maybe it's too hard. Maybe it's too soft. Maybe the atmosphere is gone. From my point of view, I like Radiohead. From OK Computer earlier or after, it's always a different thing for a different generation. But when I listen to a Keane record, it's a Keane record. And I like it because you still have that sense of vulnerability. When I listen to The Way I Feel, I was like, wow, this is a great song. It still has the sound. It reminds me a lot of some track from Under the Iron Sea, but still, there was this contrast between the music and the lyrics, which I found is very Keane. So it's nice to get the same quality after all these years.
That's a relief.
Le estaba preguntando por cómo se mantiene la identidad de la